The world is now faster than ever before. Everything changes, rapidly, unexpectedly, and sometimes mercilessly. Information flows in seconds, and decisions must be made immediately. No one has time to wait. But amidst this rush, one truth remains unchanged. Some people do not break. While everything around them falls apart, they stand firm in their place. After every blow, they stand taller. After every loss, they learn a lesson and keep moving forward. This doesn't mean they are fearless. It means they are resilient. But where does this resilience come from? How is it formed? And more importantly, how can you develop it? If life often tests you, if sometimes you say, "I can't endure anymore," this video is for you. This time, we won't talk about temporary motivation. Instead, we will show you ways to become stronger, ways that will awaken the power inside you, and you, instead of adapting to this world, will become someone who directs it. If you're ready, take a deep breath and join us on this journey, because you haven't yet seen how strong you truly are. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video, because in today's world, everyone needs to know how to build resilience. And resilience is not just a path, it is also unity. Resilience is sometimes an invisible force that keeps a person alive. It is saying, "I am still here," when life tries to wear you down. It is saying, "I will try again," instead of giving up after failure. Sometimes just enduring one more day, taking one more step, that is the foundation of resilience. Resilience is your internal system of stability. When storms come, trees bend, but a tree with deep roots does not break. Your resilience is like your root. If that root goes deep, it will be hard to shake you. Imagine your friend breaks down facing the same problem, but you remain calm. If it was someone else in your place, they would have given up long ago, but you keep going. This is not about being special. This is your inner strength. But don't forget one truth: no one is born resilient. It is a skill acquired later. It gradually develops after every hardship. Each time you endure, your spirit grows stronger. Each time you rise after falling, you build an invisible foundation inside, a foundation that becomes unshakable over time. Resilient people think very differently. They don't hate difficulties. On the contrary, they see opportunity within them. When a problem arises, they don't say, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, they ask, "What is this preparing me for?" Resilience changes a person. What once made you cry no longer silences you. You are now ready to face problems you used to run from. This is not just psychological strength. It is your new way of life. This is why resilience is so important. Because life will test you. People will criticize you. Sometimes everything will come crashing down at once. But if you have resilience, you will stand tall. Remember, resilience doesn't mean ignoring hardship and pain. On the contrary, it means accepting and living through them, but passing through them to find a stronger version of yourself. The more you learn to be resilient, the less power life will have over you, because it already knows that breaking you is not easy. Now let's move on to how we can build this resilience. Resilience is not just a matter of character, it is a mindset. Some people see the world as dark even in the smallest problem. Others, even amid great difficulties, ask themselves, "I wonder, what is this preparing me for?" Everything starts here, from your mind. Your brain can be both your friend and your enemy. If you don't control your mind, it will control you. And the brain is always sensitive to danger. It tends to see every difficulty as a threat, but you can teach your brain new pathways. For example, when something goes wrong, you might suddenly think, "See, it didn't work again. I told you it's not for me. Whatever happens will happen." These sentences destroy your inner strength. Now let's simply change the way you think. If before you said, "Why did this happen to me?" Now say, "If this happened to me, it means there is something I need to learn." If before you said, "This is not for me," now say, "This difficulty will help me grow." If before you were afraid and said, "I can't do it," now say to yourself, "Even if I can't, trying will make me stronger." Changing your mindset means changing your life, because a person is not affected by what happens in life, but by how they view it. The same event can affect two people differently. It can break one and make the other stronger. The difference is not in the event, but in the perspective. Changing your mindset doesn't happen instantly. It takes time, but every time you catch the negative voice in your mind, you get an opportunity to reprogram it. Ask yourself more often questions like, in what area does this situation make me stronger? What can I learn from this? Maybe this difficulty is a step toward a bigger success in the future. Every time you change your thinking, you don't just see the problem differently, you change yourself too. This will make you calmer, wiser, more resilient, and more flexible. Because the greatest power is not physical strength. The greatest power is to control your mind. Many people collapse inside because of this. They want to control everything. The world, people, events, the future. But this is impossible. Life has its own laws and it does not obey your plans. Today, everything can go well. Tomorrow, your whole life can change with one message. You cannot change this. But there is one thing you can change: your response to it. How an event will affect you is determined by your reaction. You can choose to cry, to fight, to stay silent, or to keep going. The choice is yours. Stoic philosophers have a beautiful saying: it is pointless to be upset about things you cannot control. If you apply this to your life, you will feel freedom, because you will no longer waste time on the weather, people, markets, politics, the past, or other people's opinions. You will focus only on controlling yourself. For example, someone said something bad to you. You cannot change what they said, but inside, you can change your reaction by telling yourself, they are just expressing their own pain. You didn't get the result you expected. You cannot turn back time, but you can make a new plan and keep going. People often say, my luck ran out. If they hadn't done that, I wouldn't be in this situation. If my past hadn't been like this. These thoughts give control away to the outside. But a resilient person thinks, yes, things didn't go the way I wanted, but what can I do now? This question is your power. This question is the moment you take control back. No matter how much the world changes, you can always control one thing: your attitude, your behavior, and your energy. If you want to change your life, don't change others, change your responses. When your reaction changes, results change too. And that will bring you true freedom, because the world no longer rules you. You shape your own world. Now, let's look at the next step: how to protect your inner calm and become even stronger. Resilience is not just about enduring hardship. It is also the ability to remain calm within during difficulties. Because a person who can stay calm, even in the middle of a storm, is not afraid of the storm. Now ask yourself, how many minutes a day do you spend just with yourself? No phone, no noise, no social media. Just you and your breath. Many of us have forgotten to take care of ourselves these days. Invisible stress, anxiety, and the flood of information slowly drain us from within. And the most effective way to prevent this is to create a ritual for inner calm. This ritual can be very simple. Sit quietly for 5 minutes when you wake up in the morning. Practice deep breathing exercises. Take a daily 10-15 minute walk, alone in nature. Write down 3 things you are grateful for before going to bed. Put your phone away for a while and just listen to yourself with a cup of tea. These small habits send a message to your brain. I am not in a rush. I am in control of myself. To hear the calm voice inside you, you must silence the noise. Sometimes just a few deep breaths, flipping through a book, or listening to calm music can recharge your body and mind. What do these rituals give you? They reduce stress. They calm the brain. They help you think more clearly. They make you feel stronger inside. If you cannot spare even 5 minutes a day for yourself, then you really need it. Inner calm is born in silence. In that silence, you find your voice. And that voice will tell you every time, no matter what happens, I will keep going. Remember, a weak person seeks calm. A strong person creates calm. Now let's move on to the strong connection between the power of the body and the power of the soul. Many people think resilience is only a mental skill, but this is half the truth. In reality, body and soul are connected. As you strengthen your body, your soul becomes stronger too. Every time you exercise, sweat, and your muscles burn, your brain receives a signal: I can endure hardship. I can go to the end. This is not just about building muscles. This is about building willpower. Let's look at a simple example. You wake up in the morning and don't want to run. You're tired. The weather isn't good either, but you run anyway. This is not just physical activity. This is conquering your own desires. This is sending a message to your mind. I'm not looking for comfort. I want to grow stronger. Physical exercises, walking, running, push-ups, yoga, gym, or simple home workouts increase your psychological resilience. Because every time you endure pain, you are training not only your muscles but your mind too. A strong body creates a foundation for a strong soul. Health is one of the main pillars of resilience. Sweat can sometimes be the only thing that clears the fog in your mind. Everyone feels down and loses motivation sometimes. But if you keep your body moving, your soul won't want to stop either. Because movement is life. Movement is a signal of victory. If today you feel weak, tired, and spiritless, just do 10 minutes of physical activity. You will feel the change. Because as your body moves, your brain switches to fight mode. In conclusion, a strong body is the key to a more resilient mind. Regular exercise makes you feel more confident, in control, and strong. Resilience happens not only inside but in your body too. Expressing yourself and understanding your inner world is also possible through writing. Resilience doesn't mean silence and holding everything inside. Sometimes the most resilient people are those who recognize and express their feelings, because true strength is not hiding emotions but understanding and managing them. One of your greatest helpers on this path is a pen and paper. Yes, it may seem simple, but writing is the key to inner calm. It is a kind of mental cleansing. As you write, the confusion inside you begins to clear. You start to speak what you kept silent, reveal what you hid, and writing rebuilds your inner strength. Let me ask you a question. How many thoughts pass through your mind every day? Millions. Most of them. Worry, fear, future, past, regret, and more. So how will you find clarity within this flood? The answer is simple: by writing. What should you write? Write what you feel. What did you feel today? Why did you feel that way? Were you calm, nervous, tired? What caused those feelings? Write it down. And notice that as you write, it feels like someone is listening to you. That listener is you. Write your lessons. What did you learn today? What did you discover about yourself? Which person disturbed you, and where did that disturbance come from? As you answer these questions in writing, you begin to map your inner world. Write your gratitudes. Write 3 simple things you are thankful for each day. This will shift your focus from what is missing to what you have. And over time, you will feel that you are no longer a person who complains, but one who is grateful. Write your goals. In the morning, write, what do I want to accomplish today? In the evening, write, what did I achieve? What didn't I achieve? Why? This will direct your attention to your goals and strengthen your inner discipline. Why is writing so powerful? Because writing is a dialogue with yourself. It brings out the questions you don't speak, hide, or maybe fear. And instead of running away from those questions, you learn to face them. As you write, you recognize the voices inside you. You learn to distinguish which voice is fear, which is anxiety, and which is the true you. Writing makes you emotionally more resilient, more self-aware, and more purposeful. The most interesting part is this. When you start writing every day, after a while you look back and see that you are no longer the person you used to be. You are clearer, stronger, you think deeper. Because you no longer just live each day, you understand it. If you practice this habit for just 5 minutes a day, you will feel the difference. And remember, these 5 minutes can sometimes change your entire day. Sometimes, even your life. Resilience is sometimes inside you, and sometimes hidden in a sentence standing next to you. I'm here, don't worry. Sometimes hearing the voice of a friend or a loved one is like taking a breath. again in the hardest moments. Don't forget, being strong doesn't mean being alone. True strength is in being able to ask for support. True strength is in being able to say, I'm having a hard time. Because when a person falls for a moment, if there is someone to hold their hand, they get up faster. Some call loneliness independence. But remember, being forced into loneliness and choosing solitude are different things. Resilient people know their energy can run low one day. And when that happens, having someone by their side can be as powerful as an army. Why is social support so important? Because sometimes someone else can hear the voice of the struggle inside you. That person will remind you of what you might forget. You didn't come this far alone. You're not alone now. A simple phone call, a sincere message, or a conversation over tea. These moments are pillars that strengthen your psychological resilience. Everyone is there for you when everything is going well. But the person who listens to you during difficulties, who understands you and says, it's okay, this will pass, is one of the forces that increase your resilience. So how to build a strong support system? Choose the right people. Surround yourself with people who truly understand you and give you encouragement, not pressure. Be supportive yourself, because relationships aren't built on one-sided trust. The more support you give, the more you deserve to receive. Be open, don't be afraid. Sharing your vulnerabilities doesn't make you weak. On the contrary, it makes you human and strong, because trusting someone else shows that you are also trustworthy. Remember, you are an island, but not an island isolated from the sea. Don't mind the noise around you. Sometimes one word is enough to keep the resilience inside you alive. I'm here. Yes, in life, things don't always go the way you want. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you're late. But there is one question resilient people answer every day. What is worth fighting for today? Resilience is not just about fighting external difficulties. True resilience lies in how you handle the storms inside you. Emotional agility means facing the emotions life creates in you sincerely, without denial or escape. It's not about saying, I don't feel bad and putting on a mask. It means saying, right now I feel bad, but I understand this feeling and know how to handle it. So what does this mean? Recognize your fear, but don't let it control you.
Fear is a human feeling.
But if fear paralyzes you, it no longer serves you. You serve it. Facing it, analyzing it, and then deciding what to do. This is emotional agility. Don't scold yourself, listen. If you make a mistake, don't call yourself stupid. Ask yourself, what happened? What did I learn? You need to learn to analyze, not criticize. Work with your feelings, not against them. Are you angry? Scared? Sad? That's great. These feelings are signals related to your inner world. Don't suppress them. Listen, understand, and take control. What does emotional agility give you? 1. Inner stability. You stay steady even when life changes. 2. Better decisions, because you act by conscious choice, not reaction. 3. Healthy relationships, because you can express your feelings properly. 4. Self-knowledge and self-love, because you no longer feel ashamed of your emotions. You understand them. How can you develop emotional agility? Try to put your feelings into a single word. What do you feel today? Anger, loneliness, anxiety, pride. Recognizing feelings is the first step to managing them. Where did your feelings come from? Did your past experiences trigger them, or is it the actual situation? The questions you ask yourself bring you back to reality. When you're angry, don't react immediately. Stop for 10 seconds and breathe. These 10 seconds are a life-saving bridge between your feelings and your actions. Write your feelings in a journal. Sentences starting with, today I was angry because, will cleanse you. Writing is the key to emotional balance. What is the most important lesson? Emotional agility is not about being rigid. It's about being flexible. That means being able to bend, change, and adapt without breaking. Sometimes life will squeeze you, but you will be able to maintain your form within that pressure. This skill will make you resilient, steadfast, and strong from within. Here's something very important. Behind every strong person is an inner struggle that has lasted years. The people you see smiling against life's storms did not gain that strength overnight. They fell, got up, made mistakes, learned lessons, but never stopped. Resilience is like a seed. You plant it today. Tomorrow you see nothing, or a week passes, still nothing. But life is forming underground. Roots grow, anchoring deeper into the soil. And one day, because you were patient, a sapling will sprout toward the sky. Where do people go wrong? Many want results but don't have patience for the process. They say, why am I still not changing? But don't appreciate the power of the small steps they take every day. They want fast change, but lasting change requires slow, steady, relentless progress. The secrets of patience lie in these truths. Did you feel calmer today? Did you express your feelings better? Were you even a little stronger than yesterday? Value these small victories, because big changes are the sum of hundreds of small steps. Others may achieve results in one step, but you don't know their path, their past, their pain. Your only competitor is who you were yesterday. Sometimes you don't feel like you've changed, because you see yourself every day. But think about who you were 3 months ago. What kind of person were you 6 months ago? If you see a difference in your answer, it means you are growing. Patience is not passive waiting. Patience is moving forward every day with small steps, without forcing the timing of the results. It is a belief, I am doing my best and in time I will reach what I want. Resilience is not a game of speed but of consistency. The more you think you're behind, the more you are actually growing. Because those who rise fast fall fast too. But a person who slowly gets to know themselves, develops, and grows stronger from within, becomes unshakable. See, failure is life's toughest but most honest teacher. No one's path is filled only with victories. Whoever you look at today, a famous name, a successful entrepreneur, a strong psychologist, an artist, each of them has experienced hundreds of failures. But what's the difference? Failure happens to everyone. Resilient people analyze those failures, learn lessons, and keep going. They don't say, I failed. They say, this wasn't the way to do it. Now I have new information for another attempt. When failure happens, analyze immediately. What happened? Where did you make a mistake? Which decision caused this result? These questions can be painful, but inner strength comes from being honest with yourself. Instead of drowning in emotions, observe them. If you feel ashamed, that's normal. If you doubt yourself, that's also human. But don't let these feelings freeze you in place. Just recognize them and let them go. Because you are not your feelings. You are your choices. Trying again after failure may seem scary, but that is exactly where growth begins. Whether it's sending a message, making a plan, or fixing a mistake, and it doesn't matter. The important thing is to move again. Sometimes people say after failure, maybe this isn't for me. I'm just someone who can't succeed. But remember, failure does not define who you are. It only shows that a certain path didn't work this time. There's a famous saying, you either win or learn. If you apply this to your life, no defeat will be your end. It will simply turn into a database of knowledge for a new beginning. Now I'll ask you a question. What do you consider a failure today? If you looked at that event differently, what lesson could you find there? Now take paper and pen and write it down. Because writing is analyzing, and analyzing is growing. Life never goes according to plan. Something you trusted yesterday can break today. People you counted on can suddenly disappear. Work may change, your environment may change, even your own inner needs can change. So what should you do in such cases? Adaptation, that is, adjusting, is resilience's invisible hero. This skill allows you to stay standing in a rapidly changing world, act flexibly, and continue growing. The human brain wants stability, but life is not stable, and the sooner you accept this truth, the more resilient and flexible you will become. Sometimes people are afraid of change because they see change as a loss. But in reality, change is the first step of growth. For something new to begin, something old must come to an end. Don't resist change the moment it appears. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Maybe this is the doorway to a new opportunity. You can't change everything in one day, but by making small adjustments in your daily habits, you can begin to develop a flexible mindset. For example, working in a new environment, communicating with different people, reassessing your plans. Sometimes when a road closes, people think everything is over. In reality, life is just redirecting you toward a more suitable path. The key is to stay flexible and adapt quickly. Change is inevitable. The question is, will you change or will you be crushed by it? The ability to adapt is a sign of self-confidence, because you know that no matter what happens, you are strong enough to adjust and move forward. One of the most powerful fuels of resilience is purpose. When you have a goal, the challenges you face begin to look different. They no longer exist to break you down, but to help you grow. A person without a goal is like a boat drifting aimlessly in the sea. The waves push it in every direction, but someone with a goal doesn't just float with the waves. They use them to navigate toward the shore. A goal is the guiding light of resilience. How do you live a goal-driven life? 1. First, find your why. Don't just say, I want this. Clarify why you want it. Because when you know your why, finding the how becomes easier. 2. Write down your goals and keep them visible. This keeps your motivation alive. Whenever you lose your way, they help you realign. 3. Remember your goal, especially in difficult times. Ask yourself, why am I going through this pain? What meaning does this hardship have for me? If you have an answer, you also have endurance. Remember, people endure for their purpose. If there is no purpose, hardship feels like suffering. If there is purpose, hardship becomes growth. True resilience is not just reacting to external events. It begins with knowing your inner self. Because someone who doesn't know themselves can't interpret life accurately. They either criticize themselves too harshly or fail to see their true power. If you don't know who you are, life can easily knock you off track. But a person who knows themselves understands what they can endure, what they truly need, when to stop and when to move forward. Answering these questions will make you stronger and more grounded. Some people are afraid to admit their weaknesses, as if doing so will diminish them. But in truth, a person who acknowledges their weakness is no longer a prisoner to it. They don't deny it, they work with it. Hiding your weaknesses drains you. Acknowledging them and working on them sets you free. But how can you truly know yourself? Not by what others say, but by your real feelings. What you fear, what you're sensitive to, that's your internal map. Pay attention to the moments when you're most angry, most joyful, or when something holds you back. These moments reveal who you are. Sometimes the opinions of friends and loved ones act as a mirror. But remember, their opinions can guide you, but they shouldn't choose your path. Self-awareness is not just a psychological exercise. It's the insurance of resilience, because only when you know your strengths can you endure. And only when you admit your weaknesses can you access your real power. There's another important thing I want to share with you. Today, a large part of our lives is spent in front of screens. Phones, computers, social media, news streams. They constantly flood our minds with information. When your brain is constantly processing input, it has no time to rest. This leads to increased stress, poor focus, and even emotional exhaustion. Sometimes you feel irritated or tired for no apparent reason. That's because your brain hasn't had a proper break. That's why we need to take digital breaks. Staying away from phones and screens gives your brain peace and clarity. You start to feel your emotions more clearly. Empty time means your brain finally has space for new ideas, and long-term focus becomes easier. The challenges and problems you face in life often depend on your perspective. The same situation might feel like a heavy burden to one person, but a doorway to opportunity for another. Your strength often lies not in the events themselves, but in how you respond to them. Someone with a negative mindset gets crushed by a problem, but someone who thinks differently can use that problem to their advantage. Think about it. What major difficulties did you overcome before your biggest successes? Those weren't just obstacles. They were chances to gain new skills and become stronger. Every test is a step toward better self-understanding and personal growth. So how can you shift your perspective? Start by evaluating any difficult situation from another angle. Let's say you had an issue at work. Your first thought might be, I'm just not good enough. But then ask yourself, what can this teach me? What skill can I improve through this? Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Try asking, what opportunity is this trying to create for me? Don't focus only on the moment. Try to see the long-term outcome. Something that feels painful now might become your greatest strength in the future. What does changing your perspective give you? Less stress and anxiety, the ability to find creative and practical solutions, more self-confidence and belief in yourself. More lessons gained from both small and major life events. In the end, remember, life is shaped by how you view it. If you can shift your perspective, even the hardest moments can become your greatest opportunities. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's the result of your daily choices, your mindset, your reactions, and your habits. Ask yourself during tough times, will this break me or will it make me stronger? The answer depends on you. And in the bigger picture, no one else can build your resilience for you. Only you can do that. Thank you to each and every one of you for watching this far. If this video gave you something valuable, a new perspective, a stronger mindset, or a little more courage, then subscribe to the channel. Like the video and share it, because this message might change someone else's life too. See you in the next video.